Hi, what's good? This is Carla Collins, and you are what I am, and that's why I love you. You're listening to Toronto Mike on Toronto Mic'd. It's very meta.
What up, Mike? Toronto. VK on the beat. Check. I'm in Toronto where you wanna get the city love. I'm from Toronto where you wanna get the city love. I'm in Toronto, Mike, we wanna get the city love. My city love me back for my city love. I'm in Toronto.
Welcome to episode 1821 of Toronto Mic'd. Proudly brought to you by retrofestive.ca, Canada's pop culture and Christmas store. Save 10% with the promo code FOTM for a limited time. Great Lakes Brewery. Order online at greatlakesbeer.com for free local home delivery in the GTA. Palma Pasta. Enjoy the taste of fresh, homemade Italian pasta and entrees from Palma Pasta in Mississauga and Oakville. Visit palmapasta.com for more. Fusion Corp's own Nick Iones. He's the host of Building Toronto's Skyline and Building Success, two podcasts that you ought to listen to. RecycleMyElectronics.ca. Committing to our planet's future means properly recycling our electronics of the past. And Ridley Funeral Home. Pillars of the community since 1921. Today, making her Toronto Mic'd return, but it's her first visit to the prestigious TMDS basement studio. It's Carla Collins.
Hey, girl, hey.
Carla, it was years and years where it was like one-sided worship, and I never met you. Like, you made your Toronto Mic'd debut via Zoom from Los Angeles, but in the past 3 weeks, we have been in the same room 3 times.
That's true. It's just been the Mike and Carla show. Sometimes this is our Paris, obviously, Mike. Sometimes there's just, periods in your life where you're with someone. Ted Morris, wonderful comedian, was saying the same thing. He's like, I never see you, and now I'm just seeing you. I'm like, I know. I'll haunt your dreams.
Well, you can haunt my dreams. We were doing that before, but now it's true. Like, so when you showed up, and again, we had an email exchange, and I think I said something like, if you show up at TMLX21 at Palma's Kitchen in Mississauga, I will shut it down. And you showed up.
Well, it was very sweet. First of all, it's very ironic because it's episode. I was just shopping today at Forever 1821. The bargains before Christmas to die for. You sent me this sweet email, I thought, and you said, "Oh, we're having this live show, and I know you're in Canada. I know you're around. It's probably not close, but anyway, just wanted to extend the invitation," which I thought was classy. And I said, let me talk to Gay Fiance. I'll talk to Michael. And I thought, if we can swing it, I'll come by. And I didn't even finish. I didn't hit send. And Mike was like, what? If you come by, I'll shut it all down. And it was so much fun.
Well, you were great on the show, and it was great to meet you. We sat beside each other, and we talked for, good 10 minutes or so. And it's always good to see your gay fiance, Michael Webb. So Michael's in the room. I just want to they might not see him on the camera. At some point, I'll have to put you on the camera just so we can see your handsome face. But always good to see Michael Webb. And again, thank you so much for coming to TMLX21 because everybody was so excited to see the living legend that is Carla Collins. So thank you for making that effort.
Well, everybody was so nice there.
Of course, they listen to this fine podcast. You only get nice people, nice sweethearts doing that. But then I showed up in North York at a rival brewery to Great Lakes Beer, but and remind me, Golden Field? Remind me the name of the...
We don't have to say their name if you've got a brewery sponsor.
Well,
maybe Great Lakes Brewery would like me to do comedy there, and then, we won't have any problems.
I could broker that deal.
Yeah, let's do it. Well, you were going to broker... Sorry, because,
Tell me what I promised
my ADHD,
and I'll deliver.
Ask Michael, I'm a magpie, so... You need a Sherpa guide, everybody listening, to follow along with me.
They say that I want to talk about ADHD too, but I want you to finish that thought only because I produced the official podcast of Great Lakes Brewery, which is called Between Two Fermenters, and I'm talking to the owner. Yeah, it is a great name.
Great name.
And we record down here every 2 weeks, but 100% if Carla Collins wanted to perform at Great Lakes Brewery, it would be an honor to broker that deal. But what were you going to say?
Broker it. You pimp my ride. I don't know what I'm saying.
But I promised something else.
Yes.
I want to deliver on
you
my promises.
You promised Casaloma
Yeah.
show.
That's okay. So on the live stream, we're now live at live.torontomike.com. We're there right now. And I can see watching us record
Are we
this
live?
We're live. So yeah, we're live.
I thought, there's some shit we can edit out later. What? Oh, hi, everybody.
Oh, nothing will be edited.
I'm
You
just
know
kidding.
that, but you don't need an editor. You're amazing in real time. But Jeremy Hopkin is on the live stream, so I just want to remind Jeremy because he's my connect to Casaloma, and he co-hosted episode 1800 from Casaloma. Jeremy, who says hi, Carla.
Hi, Jeremy.
Don't forget, we promised we would broker that deal where Carla Collins performs live at Casaloma. So let's deliver on our promise, J-Ho.
And listen, Jeremy, not for nothing, but don't be looking all smug. Do you know how difficult it is to find a slutty turtleneck? This is hard.
You know what? The shoulders are exposed.
That's right. So you know the show's going to be good. When
I saw your show at the brewery in North York.
I keep forgetting that. Yes. I can't really bullshit about it. You were there. Yes.
I was there. And I have many things I want to say, so please indulge me here. But one thing is, you're fucking funny, Carla Collins.
Thank you. Thank you.
I
so
laughed,
much.
and I know you're thinking, oh, what a polite gentleman that he's going to he's laughing at all my jokes. I didn't fake any of it.
I heard that about you. That's not what your wife. No, I hope not. Gosh,
I
that's
faked every orgasm. That's from the
how
Naked Gun.
sad.
Remember Leslie Nielsen? I faked every
exactly.
orgasm.
How sad if you had to fake laughter. Like I just feel bad. I have to give you a spoon. But I was doing a lot of, it was a small show. I was doing a lot of new material, so I'm glad that it worked out.
It worked out.
As
And-
Michael says, it's not a stream of consciousness with me. It's a fire hose of consciousness. So I think I started 10 jokes that I didn't finish, which is weird. I usually do, but I just had a buttload of new material to get through.
Maybe that's why I find you so funny, because my mind works similar to yours. I do want to get back at some point to this ADHD because you referenced it in your act. But I want to tell the listenership that I got there were no seats left. It was a very intimate gathering, but you were sold out or full of, it was no room. And actually, because of that, because I for a moment I thought, oh, I'll sit with Humble Howard and his girlfriend. But it was very clear we were not going to be sitting with Humble Howard and his girlfriend. And I realized, oh, there is a spot in the very front. Okay, no one wants to sit in the front row for a comedy show because you become part of the show. But I was the only seat left. So Monica and I, my beautiful wife, we were there in the front row, and I became a bit of a prop. Like I was honored to be a part of your show. There is a photo. Did Michael take the photo?
I did not.
No, my dear friend Radhika, the one who's like, Carla, don't be a gypsy.
She was
When
at a
I-
table.
So
She was.
when it's a small show, and again, Michael can back me up, I like to play with the audience, but I'm never mean. As you saw, 3 young guys. I always get the 3 young G's.
You were flirting hard. I was very jealous.
I get the Gen Zs, and they've come to every show at that place, and almost every show I go to, they're young guys, and they come and sit really close to the
Yeah.
front. And I just hit on everyone.
Well, they were part of the show,
women,
too.
small farm animals. I think if you go to a comedy show, I do want everybody elevated and having a nice night. Not to be like trite or too earnest so early on, but I do that. I it's not tearing someone down. I'll have a little fun with them, and I did ask for permission because I said I have an invitation, but it involves touching you. Are you
Well,
good with being
that's
touched?
so-
And you guys are all like, we all want to be touched.
We have to make sure we're clear. So I'm glad a photo was taken so I can prove it happened, because I know it happened. I experienced it. But you have this bit where you're talking about, it's very funny. You talk about how back in the day when you interviewed somebody, there was some space between you and your interview subject.
Yes.
And then today, and I think it's, is it Drew Barrymore?
It's Drew Barrymore, who's basically someone's tampon. And here's the thing, I'm very lovey-touchy. I've grabbed Michael several times, and he's like, it's enough, hag.
know, I'm watching.
But, but I really respect people's privacy, and I'm terribly claustrophobic. Very claustrophobic. And
Okay.
I was watching Drew Barrymore interview someone, and it almost triggered me. And I thought, what? She's on her lap. Like
Right.
it was getting weird. She's like, tell me more. And so, I'm sure I'm not the only comedian noticing this or doing this, but so now on some of the shows, I'll just say, can we do a quick impression? And I throw my leg around someone's
So
neck.
your leg was over my shoulder. Like it was,
You're welcome.
It was like a dream come true. Okay. I mean,
Every young boy dreams.
Carla calling because it was very intimate. I was very close to yourself, and honored to be a part of your show. And
my snorkel?
I'm glad somebody snapped a picture.
I know, and I was being very respectful because you have a wife and everything, and I don't just post people's pictures. So I said, "Oh, somebody caught the moment because you said I'm so glad I could be an assist." I said you were a great assist.
I was a part of the show.
Even helped me because then I do sort of this back bend for the second
Right.
part of Drew Barrymore.
Right.
But are asking what's in somebody's smoothie or whatever I say. I don't know. It changes a lot of times. And you gave me the assist up, and I'm like, "Thank you, good sir."
Well, I was like I said, I was honored. But this is a good opportunity. If there are any upcoming Carla Collins comedy engagements that the listenership could flock to, because I am here personally vouching for the fact you will laugh your ass off. What a thrill. So is there anything booked in this in the GTA in the coming month or so?
There's one I really want to lean into because it happened very quickly. It's a friend of Michael's who I also met, but
Is that like being a friend of Dorothy?
yes, or a friend of Toronto Mike. Friend of Dorothy. Come on. We all know that Michael's the Wizard of Oz, but it's not a floating head. He's like genuinely a wizard. He's like, listen, I've got a robe and everything.
Oh no, I got questions for Michael later, but a friend of Michael.
So a local businesswoman in Barrie, she has this spectacular restaurant called Bloom Bistro, and she and Michael ran into each other, and she was like, "Oh, I'd love to do a New Year's Eve event, so it's a little bit last minute, but we put together this for $100 make you holler. You get a gourmet 3-course meal.
Whoa!
Yes,
You
free
can't get much at McDonald's anymore for $100,
right? Free bubbles and my show." And as you know, it's going to be a fun time, and it's going to be what a good way to bring in the 2026, and then dancing afterwards, whatever you want. So that's
Worth the drive to Barrie, I'd say.
I think so. And why not grab a hotel or, plus with Uber. I have friends who Uber from one end of, we had a friend that.
Well, it's cheaper than owning a car, right? And paying the insurance and keeping your license up. I think just Uber.
Exactly.
Or bike.
So that's New Year's Eve. I'm not a big New Year's Eve fan, so we wanted something warm and
I'm surprised by that because I would think you're
all.
the queen of New Year's Eve.
Not at all.
Because you're a big show person. That's the time for you to shine, I would think. But what do I know?
Well, Mike, it's New Year's Eve with me every night. I'm having a countdown right now. New Year's Eve. No, I like to work it. I don't like to go to a party or I don't know. I like it to be a warm experience. I've had some wonderful ones. I just don't like it to be a big fake put on thing. That's all.
Where would one get tickets to go to Barrie to see you on New Year's Eve?
At Eventbrite, and we called it Keeping It 100. I mean, there's a service. Fine. You can pay at the door too, but Keeping It 100, 2026 is in bloom. Is now in bloom. That's
okay.
What, yeah.
How long do we have you for? And I mean, by we, I mean Canada.
18 days.
So you, just for the record, because you've been here a while now. So you live in California, but you're here for an extended period of time. Like how long have you been here? And you're telling me in 18 days you're going back to LA?
Well, no, it's kind of a long extended dance mix. I was here in October. I went back to LA. I'm now here doing 2 Yucks shows, Boxing Day, and then the day after Boxing Day. And then because January is kind of a quiet month, I'll be back in Los Angeles. And we'll talk about this because I'm doing the illustrations for my...
it's on my list. Don't
I know.
you worry.
For my book. So I'm going
to... Because, somebody at my table, I want to get... So that woman you did the accent for.
Radhika.
Right.
The beautiful Romanian.
She was at my table, but there was a woman beside her.
Was it Karen?
Yeah. Karen, okay. Karen showed me her vision board.
Yes, she was one of my early vision pop board custom orders. Yeah, that was from a year ago. I finally got it to her. I finished that in March. And we did a presentation too, so we'll have to talk about that.
Okay, so I promise you before we say goodbye, I want to spend some time on that because it was interesting. It was like a fun game of what does that mean and what does this mean? I didn't know this woman at all. I met her for the first time. And then I learned so much about her by discussing her vision board with her. I want to talk about this.
Well, it was really, here's what's cool about Karen's vision pop board. I always use this as an example. So, by the way, guys, if you're listening, a vision pop board isn't me making a vision board and cutting, magazine clippings out like a
serial killer.
Yeah,
exactly, like somebody holding someone hostage. I mean, I'm not saying I'm not. It's not mutually exclusive. So, The story on this is you met my brother, I believe.
We didn't really meet, but you pointed him out in your bit, and I kind of
okay.
clapped for him maybe.
So all right, you clap for it. So that's Pal. That's my pal. We call each other Pal. And I wanted to be a fine artist when I was in high school. Mm-hmm. I'm still Facebook friends with Mr. Olson listens to your show. Mr. Olson wrote in when I first appeared on Toronto Mike.
Mr. Olson.
Yep.
Okay, a teacher of yours in high school.
Yes.
Wow.
Mr. Olson, and we're still Facebook friends, and he was the art teacher, and I never left the art room. And again, as I told you on Saturday night, I'm a giant nerd. I was a nerd for many years, still am. So, but I was doodling exactly this time 2 years ago, and my brother is now the head, or was the head of in New Zealand at a girls' private school of art history, and he said, you really have a style. He said, you should kind of pursue this. I'm like, oh no, I'll just have 10 million nervous breakdowns. It's very existentialist for me. I panic over art. That's why I didn't try it. And he said, if you could do anything, what would you do? And I said, I would combine vision boards. Then people have an original piece of art and they can put it on their phone or their screensaver. So I started doing these and they've really evolved. Now it's almost 2 years and I believe the universe works with symbols. So I use a lot of symbolism and they all look like 70s album covers or box of Skittles threw up. I mean, they're very colorful and upbeat.
It's like the cover of Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band.
It's a little bit.
Yeah, like you're sort of like, oh, there's that. Oh, that was because, I love to play hockey. Like she was explaining, I saw a hockey stick thing and I'm like, we talked about that. I learned so much about this woman because I was looking at her vision board. Now, your brother, who was head of the all-girls school in New Zealand or whatnot.
Head of the art history department, yeah.
He sounds like he was the Edna Garrett of Australia.
Fancy. Of New Zealand.
The Kiwis are going to be pissed at me.
Yep.
Because
that's
that
a big
would be
rivalry.
Edna Garrett was the head of when Edna Garrett left the Different Strokes family,
yes.
She headed up that all-girls school.
Well, yeah. I mean, I wish he headed up the school. I would love that for
all right,
him.
well,
But
I'm giving him a promotion.
He did. I enjoy the reference, and I'll give it to you. But
tell him to listen. I want to hear from him.
So he's really he just knows a lot about art. And he has as Michael will tell you, has a very big influence on my life. It's just the two of us. And so I did a really rudimentary one for him. It was just his mug. And I thought I don't want to work too much on being a portrait artist because the face is, I just want to capture someone's essence. Mm-hmm. But that's kind of been evolving. And so I made one for Michael. Michael has an early one that I keep trying to steal back because I don't like the early stuff. But Michael's like, no, those are the ones that are going to be worth the most when I'm dead.
Well, we can't wait that long.
I know.
Shout out to Ridley Funeral Home, who sent a measuring tape to you.
A measuring tape?
Courtesy of Ridley Funeral Home.
So how do I measure my ashes? That I want sprinkled over, I don't know.
Okay.
Timothy Chalamet.
Well, yes. Who doesn't, right? Now, I have some very pointed questions, but first I want to convey a message from somebody who listens to Toronto Mike and heard you were coming on. His name is Gary Chowan.
Oh, yeah. That Gary was...
He cuts hair.
Yes,
he's a hairstylist.
And he used to do Cher's hair.
Used to do Cher's hair. That's his claim to fame. Gary Chowan writes in and says, say hi to her from me. Tell her I'm disappointed we haven't had our usual accidental run-in yet. Like apparently you would accidentally bump into Gary Chowan.
Several times. Well, Gary, God bless, will always have a special place in my heart because he was one of my mom's neighbors. At the Yonge and St. Clair building.
Okay.
And then whenever I'd come into Toronto, somewhere random, I would see Gary. It's like my spirit animal or something. Or I'm his. We don't know. Could go both ways. But no, we have not run into each other thus far.
So hello to Gary.
Hi, Gary.
Gary, who likes to suggest guests for Toronto Mike. And he'll be like, oh, there's this billiard champion who lives in Toronto. You should have him on. I'm like, well, I couldn't, if a billiard champion were at my front door, I would say, no, I already gave at the office or something. like I wouldn't know a billiard champion if they ran me over on my bicycle. But I take Gary's advice, I take it to heart. I'm like, well, I should talk to this billiard champion. It turns out he's a big fucking deal. All because you don't know billiards doesn't mean this guy was a world champion billiard guy, and we had a great chat. But so shout out to Gary Chowan.
Oh, honey, Gary does not suffer fools slightly. No, he's going to give you the straight, honest truth. Yeah,
he knows who's a good guest. I want to tell the listeners it's not your first episode of Toronto Mike. So in addition to being at TMLX 21, people can hear TMLX 21 Carla was great. You'd love her segment. And Carla didn't get all 3 hours of the recording, but she's the highlight of that gathering.
That's very sweet. Oh, 3 hours of me. Second prize, 6 hours.
Would you do, like, even if you were enjoying yourself, would you do a 3-hour conversation? Recorded conversation?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Well, don't careful. I'll
standing on my head.
I'm taking notes over here. Okay. January 2021. I somehow convinced you to Zoom with me. I don't know how I did it, but it was episode 782. And here's the description at the time if people want to go back, because that's where you'll get like the ongoing history of Carla Collins. Mike chats with Carla Collins about her years on television and radio, stand-up comedy, making the move to California, the passing of her beloved mother. So, wow, very sad. And her you had a podcast that Carla Collins Rocks the Elmo, and we had a pretty good chat there. That's a pretty good primer. But here you are making your basement debut, and I'm honored you're here.
I keep looking around for the well because I have to lotion up.
I do have a bone to pick. Okay. So,
because Mike's thin enough to wear me, and that worries me. See, usually I'm okay, but I could be a tuxedo for you. I mean, sorry, kids, it's dark. Dark humor is very slimming, delightful.
Shout out to Ridley Funeral Home. Okay,
I better be your spokesperson, Ridley, because I don't believe in aging. I'm immortal. Put me on the cover.
Carl, you don't believe in aging, but as I told you before I pressed record, you're not aging. We already took the tree photo. I normally do it afterwards, but you look amazing. Like,
thank you, sweet. That's very.
What percentage of this beauty is organic, and how much of it is like artificial?
It's all organic, except for the daddy issues, boobs. Everybody knows that. I've been imagine me.
Well, it's in your routine.
Yeah. The ones where I think I joked that I can't breastfeed because I don't know what would come out, but my best guess is glitter and sarcasm. And I think on Saturday night I joked about how I called them the Property Brothers because they're identical, Canadian, everybody loves them. But what the hell's really going on?
At what part of your career did you decide to enhance?
Oh, God, I don't know.
Is that you're not at the Weather Network?
No. I don't know. Somebody talked me into it. I honestly, I'm so embarrassed. That's why I just make a lot of jokes. They're not even the newest models. I'm sure that now you can just download them from Titter. I don't know. And they would come with 3D printing and Chat GPT, and they would answer all my mysteries to the universe. But
wait, do you have any regrets regarding that enhancement?
Yeah, I think I could probably have skipped that. I mean, but who doesn't love them?
I mean, I didn't even really know they were artificial until you pointed it out.
Well, I'm my own worst enemy. And because they've become self-aware and they're now following me on Insta. But I don't know. Yeah, it's fine. I think we can do whatever we want with our bodies, but that's the only thing. I know people, we were talking, people will come and grab my hair.
Well, that's what
it's
I want
real.
to ask you about. So this hair nothing's like supplementing or complementing it. Like it's all your hair.
It's all my hair. There are no extensions. And again, that still doesn't give anyone the right to come up and pull on it, which is weird, people. Like
they need your consent for that.
Kinda. But I mean, if you want to, I guess. And yeah, my hair actually dreads. And some people were like, well, I don't think that's true. And I'm like, well, it's an odd flex. Why would I just come up with it? And I have had my hairstylist say, there's a bobby pin in here. But because I put it up at night, I'm like, okay, it's not from a month ago or something. And I do get, TSA stops me a lot and they go through my hair.
With a fine-tooth comb.
In case I'm mulling cocaine through it. I don't know. But
anything could be in there. So I appreciate a good head of hair. And
well, you have one. That's why you're wearing the same.
It's game recognizing game.
It is. And you had a haircut since your...
Well, but I had it when I saw you at the comedy club.
But since your live debut.
Absolutely.
Our live broadcast.
So Gary Chowan, if you're listening, I'm very loyal. Like I'm very loyal to my barber. I have a local guy named Andy the Barber who cuts my hair. And I got my haircut last week from Andy the Barber. This Phantom Lung, I don't know if you can see it, but that's his thrash metal band. It's really just a wall of noise.
Phantom Lung is right on a spinal tap. I love it.
I know. And so he sends me his music. This is a quick side. Maybe we'll talk about ADHD in a minute. But it's a wall of sound. Like I can't pick up a melody or like there's nothing, I don't want to be like Clark. Who's the guy who's got a beat you can dance to it? Clark. Yes. Anyway,
who's Clark?
Who's the host of America's Top 40? It's got
Dick Clark.
Dick Clark.
Okay, all right, sweetie, we got.
You know what, Michael? You'll appreciate this. I couldn't remember the Dick.
Oh wow.
Came to me. So all this to say, Andy the Barber
always comes back to eventually, though.
I mean, the Dick is always present.
I couldn't remember. I was chatting with Andy the barber as he cut my hair last week, and he discloses to me he's going to move to New Brunswick in April. So I'm actually like a unrestricted free agent when it comes to, I'm going to need somebody to cut this hair. Like, you can't just trust it to Supercuts or something. So I'm just throwing it into the universe, and Gary Chowan is listening, that as of like April 2026, my barber will be gone. So I'm just throwing it out there.
You'll be phantom lunging, so you need a real barber. You need to.
I'll share you the
I don't
links.
think Gary would ever go as
Lung.
Gary the barber.
Well, we'll see. I have to talk to Gary. I need a new hair person here. So is it a lot of work to maintain this hair?
This what was that?
I know. I was trying voluptuous, voluminous.
I know, it's a lot, isn't it? I know, it's peak Dolly Parton, as I say.
But can you just wake up and go to something, or is it like
I
no?
throw it up if I throw it up. But yeah, it's a little bit at work, but it's good not to wash it too much. So I think everybody with long hair will tell you they just stick it in a messy bun. Thank God for the messy bun.
Stick a baseball cap on that.
Yes, I'm a big hat. I was wearing a hat to your in-person broadcast. I'm a big hat person. Then you don't have to do anything, and baseball caps are wonderful.
When the Blue Jays were playing the Los Angeles Dodgers, do you remember this?
Well, it was pretty recent.
Who did you root for?
I just said go blue.
That's not allowed. So
It is. I'm a centrist.
Go blue. You must have on some level wanted the Blue Jays to beat the Dodgers.
No, I did. And I mean, they're both wonderful legacy teams. They really are. And it looked so close. I did want the Jays.
It couldn't have been closer.
Michael can tell you I have a Blue Jays cap. That's now back in my possession. And Michael had I do a character called Souffle. And I was like, oh, I didn't bring my Blue Jays cap. And Michael said, I have a Blue Jays jersey. And I'm like, what? And that's all she wore. and she was like, it's called a bandwagon, and I'm on it.
You know what? The more the merrier, as far as I'm concerned. But it couldn't have been closer. But I know that you live there now. But you were rooting for the Blue Jays.
I'm always rooting for the Toronto teams. Well, actually, I'm a big Detroit fan because for whatever reason, my father and my brother, we grew up not far from Detroit. But they were just big Tiger. We went to a lot of Tiger ball games, and I always joke that I've disappointed more men than the Detroit Lions and Rogaine. Although the Lions have come back lately.
Suddenly they're good.
Yeah, so I kind of have an affinity for the Detroit teams and the Toronto teams.
Well, I have this. The reason is, if I may intervene here, is that prior to 1977, we didn't have a baseball team. So if you're a baseball fan pre-77 and you need to adopt a team, it would make sense that, is it Sault Ste. Marie? Where are we talking about?
Where I was born?
Where your dad became a fan.
I don't know why. He was just a big Detroit fan. I'm not really sure where that comes from, but we inherited that gene. So we followed the Detroit teams.
Makes sense, because Steve Paikin is a huge Boston Red Sox fan, and I'll be like, Steve, what's going on? You're a Toronto guy, and why aren't you? And he's like, well, I loved the Red Sox before Toronto had a team. So it's like you don't just give up on your love, I suppose, because there's a fresh new face in town.
Exactly. And Michael and I were actually having this discussion. Baseball players are really hot. They are.
Is it because you can see their face, unlike in hockey where there's a helmet on? You can actually see a baseball player's face.
I mean, listen, I love a good helmet as a nerd. Who hasn't masturbated while wearing a stormtrooper's helmet? Let's be honest. But I don't know what it is about baseball players. It may have imprinted me at a young age or something.
Like football, you're wearing so much gear, right? Hockey, you're wearing so much gear. But baseball, you can see their buttocks, right? Like you can see the body. There's not a lot between you and the person. So
well, you can in football too.
Yeah, they've got tight pants.
But they are there's padding in the pants.
I mean, they're capri pants, so it kind of turns me. I mean, it's like, what's happening? Are you a matador? What's going on? But yeah, I don't know.
You mentioned souffle, and I have a quick question. So during this wonderful stand-up I enjoyed last weekend, somebody in the crowd asked for souffle. Somebody said, and then you said there's no souffle here today, and this person was like visibly upset. Do you remember this?
Sometimes souffle will open for me.
Can you tell me, for the unaware, I know everything, Carla, you know that, but for the people listening who are like, what the hell are we talking about? Like, who's souffle?
Okay, for those of you not stalking me with the veracity and discipline that Toronto Mike is, shame on you.
I'll teach you how.
A while ago, I've done a couple of characters. And one was kind of an homage, a love letter to France, where I lived. My mom was French. And called souffle because she's light, fluffy, and if you make enough noise, I go down easy. It's just stupid. And
That's clever.
Yeah, I started her a long time ago. So she's a French lingerie model.
Right.
And I'm still doing her. Ladies, that's right.
But why didn't we get souffle at this event?
Because my brother was in attendance and he's like, "Why are you doing souffle? Please don't do souffle." I was very, and it was one of those. I was doing a bunch of new material, but both in in the States and I think in Barrie. Play your cards right. Maybe souffle will come for New Year's. Right. I'll open as souffle and do a little bit of time, and then the MC or another comedian will come on, and then I'll headline as me. And at the end, when we do a group, people are like, "Where's the French girl?" And I'm like, "I'm wearing the same. It's the same nose. Come on." It's a brunette wig, and she's wearing less clothes. But I think it's very obvious that it's me.
You said the N-word in that. Don't worry, everybody. It's nose. Okay?
I did not.
It's nose. I want to be clear about this. The N-word was nose. But I learned a lot about you through your comedy. Like, I think there must be some catharsis to you because you sort of started talking about, like, if you could talk to your former self and give advice, and it just seemed like you were working some stuff out in front of us, and I found it very raw and very real. And one thing that you kept alluding to was, and I hope you speak to this, because you talked about being bullied or made fun of in school for your nose.
Yeah, I did. I don't think I kept coming back to it because I'm not that strong yet. No. Well, a couple things, Mike, and I have talked about this. I talked with Andy Kim about this. And you'll understand because I was in broadcast, and I'm also a very private person, and I just want to lift. So you kind of just always have not a veneer, but you present a certain thing to people. And in the last year or two, I thought, what's missing from my comedy, I think, is vulnerability, and I'm so aware of it. Like I know I'm a festival of flaws. Michael certainly can.
Well, we'll get to Michael.
Witness and I'm very honest, but it wasn't. I don't think I had the courage. Maybe I don't know to bring it into my comedy.
Well, it's tough when you're a private person, which is going to surprise some people to hear that Carla Collins is a private person because you seem like such a type A extroverted person.
And that's true, but I also have a little nerd, my inner nerd, I am very private. I'm a vault. You can tell me anything.
Well, it can be very difficult to open yourself up with such vulnerabilities. Like, so the fact that you talk about this, and you said they were calling you Piggy, and I don't know. I only have known you since you were, a fine broadcaster on the Weather Network. Okay, but I don't know. Like, do you have a new nose now?
Well, yeah, we have had to do a couple of swings at that. I know my other nerd. Well, I mean, so I guess this is happening. So I started being a little more vulnerable and talking about some things that were a little more traumatic, because people have this impression that you're so confident on stage and you're such a powerhouse, and
yes.
but that we all have that side, and we also have a sensitive, vulnerable side, and I thought I should maybe have the balls to talk about some difficult times. And because I keep getting asked, if you could whisper to your younger self, what would you tell her?
That's it. Yes.
And I really wanted to do I'm still working on that bit, but I really wanted to do the honest thing. And I don't mind self-deprecating humor. I don't like to be negative because remember that becomes a mantra, right? So I don't want to just like, oh my goodness, I'm a mess on stage. But that part is true, is that, I was a dancer. So first of all, I shot up like to this height.
And I
in
said
one
this to you
summer.
in person, but you present taller than you are.
Well, because I'm always in hooker heels and I have a lot of hair.
And you're thin.
So apparently that's
long. Get
like
that
a
measuring
geezer
tape
breezer.
out
Like you think you could buy a used car behind me, and you can. But yeah, we I don't know. We moved. It was all, and tween years are not great for a lot. You don't want to peak then. They're not great for a lot of, I'm going to say, especially women. Because I've talked to a lot of women about this, and it was so painful for me. I couldn't even say the word pig nose. Like I was just like, I can't tell people that. I'm just going to keep that really buried deep. But the bus windows would come down, like relentlessly bullied for years. But I was talking to someone about it because now, bullying is really prevalent. I also don't think I would be this much of a peach of a person. I like to think I would be. But quick story is that in grade 11, everything changed. Okay. So I remember we were sitting in class, and across from us were the grade 12 guys, for Russian history. I was taking Russian because who doesn't? Anyway. And the guys were all looking at me and pointing. And I thought, no, because I'd changed high schools. And I'm like, oh, no, it's going to start up again. And they threw a note at me. And I waited and I could tear up now. And it said, hey, Bambi, we love you, the Young Bucks. And I know that sounds like I'm now a stripper, but do you know how happy, how much I embraced Bambi when I had been pig nose for the year? So and all of a sudden I was like, well, not really prom queen, but I had all these guys and I'm like, what's happening? And I remember my mom saying, well, you've grown into a swan or something. I don't know.
That is the metaphor, right? The ugly duckling.
But I just spent some hard time.
But it's
I've been through 5 years of hell, so I was like, that's a hard snap to turn around. So in math class one day, a new student came in and she had an underbite. And everybody started doing this. And I lost my shit.
Good for you.
And I was like, everyone stop it. Like went crazy and they all, obeyed me. Because at that point I'm queen and I think, but I don't think, I'd like to think I would have anyway, but I don't think I would have if I hadn't spent my time being bullied myself. And I think that's why, I'm smart.
Well, no, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry that happened to you. Like it's, I got 4 kids. Like the idea that for 4 years they're calling you piggy or something and God,
it's pig nose. You need to get it right.
I'm sorry. The president of the United States says piggy. You were known as pig nose.
My joke was when he said quiet piggy. I'm like, what? Who's there?
No, triggered you.
And now to this day, you can't watch the Muppet movie because of,
oh yeah, well,
triggered.
we certainly there was some Miss Piggy. I've
You haven't
embraced
eaten
my
bacon
inner Miss
since.
Piggy. Well, that part's true as well. So yes, for good things.
But what it did teach you was this empathy. It taught you
100%. Everybody's had stuff.
It was part of the stew that basically created the Carla we have today, who's I think is quite lovely. Like people enjoy your company and you're kind and you're sweet and you're right. You're not when you're self-deprecating and it's you are vulnerable in that way and it adds to your set. But you're not mean. You don't pick on anybody. And I think it's because you'll never forget what it was like to be that little girl and the kids calling you pig nose.
Well, and I also think honestly, we talked about this. You pay for a sitter. You come drive somewhere, you want a night out. And I think I may have said this before on your show, so stop me because my
No, you
philosophy
can give me
is-
the greatest hits. Are you kidding me?
My philosophy is you shouldn't leave a comedy show and require a rape kit. Like sometimes I just think they're so mean to that row.
Right.
And you don't eviscerate and then again, there's a way to make fun of like with the young guys, I'm doing things like I got your nose and
Right.
but it's all compliments.
Right.
Like I'm being sweet to them and you don't make fun of someone's appearance. Like, the whole philosophy is if you want to make fun of a shirt, sure. That's not part of them.
You can change your shirt.
I mean,
You're not going
my
to change your
wardrobe
face.
myself. Exactly. Right. So I think people should leave uplifted. I just inherently believe that about comedy. I think that you should leave in a much better mood. And sometimes, and there are enough mean comics who thrive on what are you piece of shit? I don't know. I feel like right now the world's tough enough. I don't think you need some chick on stage saying anything other than stuff that makes you laugh.
So, you referenced the fact that you wear these shoes that make you appear taller. And I think it also has to do with like you're very fit, you're very thin, and then you look longer. So I would say, oh my God, she's 5'11". You'll be like, I'm actually 5'9". But you present taller. And this is just a phone call I got yesterday. My daughter in Montreal, who will be back in Toronto by the end of the week because the exams are done at McGill and she's coming home for the holidays. So I can't wait to see Michelle. But she phones me all excited yesterday to say, Dad, you won't believe this. She says, in her 20s, I just got this news yesterday, but she's blown away by the fact in her 20s, she has grown 2 inches.
It can happen.
So I didn't know any of this, but so she says, because she was her stepmother and her were the same height when she last checked in on her height or whatever. And now she's measuring 2 inches taller. And there's a lot of excitement in the family for them to go back to back and see that Michelle has shot up a couple of inches. I didn't know that at the age of, because she's 21 now, but I did not know that you could still be growing in your 20s.
Anything's possible. Anything's possible.
So I was gonna say, can I grow 2 inches in my 50s? Insert joke here.
There are certain, what do you call them, mindset gurus who would tell you can, that if you just say, yep, I'm now 6'4", that you can become 6'4". I haven't quite mastered that level of
I'm gonna try that.
consciousness. But if it's important to you, There's also
focus on
Tom
it.
Cruise lifts.
It's our Bono from U2. I think he was wearing lifts too for a while there. But you referenced in your show, and you said it earlier, ADHD. Are you actually diagnosed ADHD, or have you self-diagnosed
No,
ADHD?
just self-diagnosed.
Okay.
I mean, kind of using it as a bit, although I do have another funny story.
No, go.
I mean, and now everybody's saying that they have ADHD, but, Michael knows that I'm a bit of a magpie and I see something shiny and then I go over there. And sometimes I just laugh myself. I'm like, what am I even doing? What did I start and not finish? But we were driving and my brother, I'm very convinced my brother's on the spectrum, and he's one of those because he's genius level. But like if we go for a walk, we have to take the same way home. Like he's got, and so I was saying to Michael, we're driving, and I said, oh my brother's on the spectrum, and Michael said, your brother. And I'm like, what? And I said, name one thing about me that's autistic, and he said, I can name one. And I'm like, okay, all right. So the joke I didn't get to it, but the joke would be that like autism French kissed my brother, but it gave me a little peck on the cheek, apparently. So
maybe we're all somewhere on the spectrum.
We all are.
Because I've been accused as well of being both on the spectrum and ADHD. I've never been diagnosed of either, and I haven't worked it into a comedy bit yet. That's not what I do. So, and sometimes I'll Google it and I'll be like, no way, like, oh, it says you can't focus on a task to completion, and I'll be like, look what I did this week. Like, no one else is. I did all this week. I focus on this and I did that and the other. How could I do that if I'm not whatever? But it is interesting how people are tossing around these terms now. And I almost wonder like, oh, so you're distracted on a tangent to go somewhere. And then sometimes you forget to come back. It's because you're a curious cat. Like I'm curious about things and I will go off to the shiny thing there because suddenly there's a fucking shiny thing over there. I'm supposed to ignore this? Like I have to ignore this shiny thing, right, Michael? No, I'm going to go check that out. And more often than not, I will remember to come back. Sometimes I won't, and that's okay too.
Well, and I think it presents itself, whatever, I think we all have it differently in everyone. For example, I was telling Michael that I was losing my mind because I like one task and then I go on to the next. I didn't like the fact that I had a vision pop board due and a comedy show. It was split. I was like, God, my brain is going to explode, Michael. So I'm like, I got to finish this board before I can even focus on, like, I did not schedule that properly.
Concurrent.
Yep.
Mind. Yes, I can totally,
one task at a time.
You want to complete one and then start the next, complete that, and then et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
So I want to get back to the boards, and I have a personal question. I'm hoping, Carla, it's okay if I spend like 2 minutes of Michael Webb. Is that okay with you?
You can spend 2 hours with Michael.
I'm just a casual observer.
No,
over here.
2 minutes though, Michael. But
I adore Michael.
First, a message to not just you two in the room, but the listenership at large, which is we're almost at the end of the month. It's December 18th as we're talking now. Christmas is a week today.
I know.
It's happening, everybody. It's happening. It's not too late to go to retrofestive.ca, which is Canada's pop culture and Christmas store, and use the promo code FOTM to save 10%. And if you're in Oakville or near Oakville, and most listeners probably are, there's actually a bricks and mortar store you can go to, Retrofestive. Google it, visit the Schwartz family. Ty the Christmas guy will be there. Some cool shit going on at Retrofestive.
Nice.
Carla,
I like both of those words, retro and festive.
Your two favorite words. And you guys have some fresh craft beer to take back to your top secret locale. So this is courtesy of Great Lakes Brewery. That's going home with you.
Thank you. Thank you, Great Lakes Brewery. Can't wait for our show.
Well, I'm going to trust me. That's on the agenda.
Oh, it's a Great Lakes Brewery tour is what it is now. They're a full-on sponsor of my delight. So you wanted to talk about, you said you had a personal question?
Well, I'm not actually finished my love for the partners because I did check in. Moving me. Look at you producing this show, Carla Collins. My goodness gracious. Jeremy Hopkin did chime in to say, I promise I will look into Casa Loma. So I just want to let you know, Carla, that J-Ho's got your back on the Casa Loma front. We'll be getting back to you on that shortly.
Wonderful.
Okay. I have in my freezer, you were at Palma's Kitchen. What did you think of that store, that retail environment, Palma's Kitchen?
It was the tits. We were like, it was like a little wonderland for us. And Michael just made fettuccine Alfredo the other night from Palma's Kitchen.
Yeah, we used their fresh pasta. It was fantastic.
What was that cake too?
Oh, the panettone.
Yes.
I'm not a sweet person, and we panettoned all night long with
We did.
Oh my God.
Here she comes now eating panettone.
I loved the whole situation. Yeah, the food was amazing and the vibe.
And that
And the owner.
that's a great endorsement there. Yeah, shout out to the Petrucci family. You probably met Anthony, who is listening right now. And it was delivered by Palma Pasta for you. I have in my freezer upstairs a large frozen lasagna.
Get out.
Get out.
You're excited, right? Yeah.
Okay, Michael and I also we get really excited over small things. Not that it's a small thing, but I mean, really, I'm just like, I am fully erect. Thank you.
I see that.
I
You're
know.
packing some heat there, Carla.
Everybody stand back.
Thank God we're not as close as we were at your event. But it pairs nicely with the Great Lakes, and you've got your lasagna. And when you do other people's shows, because I heard you somewhere, maybe it was Facebook, somewhere, maybe it was in your live show, you said you're a bit of a podcast. I think you said horror, I think.
No, I didn't.
Okay, what word did you use? Slut?
Slut. I said slut.
Oh, yes. My
I'm not
apologies.
getting paid for any of them.
My apologies to all the sluts out there.
Well, it's just, I have a hard time saying no.
But they don't give you lasagna, and they don't give you beer, and they don't give
Michael,
you a
you're the
measuring tape.
Come on, Mike. You're the king. I've been giving you a lot of love. Even at my show, by the way, I did.
Oh, I know.
I did point out that Toronto Mike and Humble Howard, the godfathers of podcasting, who are professionals and do it right. Actually, they don't use free Zoom. I know I'm being recorded. I feel really confident.
Oh, I remember that story. And this person also forgot to record you, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
And it timed out at the 30-minute mark. Okay, well, you got to pay for that Zoom, enter the big leagues. So last two notes, and then Michael Webb, then personal, and then sound. What are we calling these? Soundboards? No, vision boards.
Okay.
But what do you call them?
I call them vision pop boards.
Vision pop boards. I have a couple more questions about that. But
Yay.
Nick Iones was over here last Friday, and you can hear his episode of Toronto Mike. And he has two podcasts you should listen to: Building Toronto Skyline and Building Success. Thank you to Nick Iones from Fusion Corp for stepping up to help fuel the real talk on Toronto Mike. So thank you, Nick. And if anyone out there has old electronics, old cables, old devices, I'm looking at you, Michael Webb. Go to recyclemyelectronics.ca, put in your postal code, and find out where you can drop it off to be properly recycled so those chemicals don't end up in the landfill. Do you understand, Mr. Webb?
I have taken very serious note, yes.
Okay, I saw that. You
I've
took out your
inscribed it into
phone.
my
He's
notepad.
quite environmentalist, so yes, he's going to be. I mean, he cares about.
He cares
the
about
earth.
everything. He cares about the earth. He cares about his country. I know that. So I'm just going to ask you about something I read about you, Mr. Webb, on
Oh, dear.
Facebook. Okay, this will be painless, and there'll be no judgments from yours truly. This is what you wrote. You ready
I'm
for this?
braced.
Now,
Do I
remember,
need a beer for
I did
this?
tell you that there was one thing that we wouldn't discuss.
Yeah, but Michael Webb is not you. Like, this is just Michael Webb. But it's about Michael Webb wrote about.
I read a
going
lot
to-
of things.
You met Pierre Polyev.
I did.
Is that the first time you met him?
Mhm.
And this is recent, right?
Yeah, it was just last week.
But what blew me away, and again, zero judgments from me. We're not getting political, Carla. We're gonna move
I
away from it.
expressly said I will not be present for any political
I thought
discussions.
you said you weren't going to talk about
no,
politics. Okay,
I meant both of us.
I actually did. So, are you okay to tell us, like,
You have to talk to my handler.
Okay. Well, I don't have to talk to him, except I was going to ask Michael Webb about Pierre Polyev because I thought you were talking about Carla. I didn't know you were talking about Michael Webb. And I was going to ask you about your love for Pierre Polyev, your admiration for Pierre Polyev, but we absolutely can just move on if you want. Touch your nose if you want me to move on. Oh, he touched his nose, everybody. Okay, so Carla, can I change the channel then since Michael Webb doesn't want to talk about Pierre Polyev? And
Well, again, we did send an email saying.
so straight up, I honestly thought it was from you, and you said you didn't want to talk. I actually didn't know it was from Michael.
But I'm right here.
Yeah, but you're not.
Yeah. Anyway, and you said I never talk about, and I'm like,
Yeah.
Then yes, I will come.
Afterwards,
Let's have fun.
I actually thought you meant somebody with a different initials. I didn't think you meant PP. I thought you meant American stuff. But okay,
all the politics. I'm politics free.
I know. But I wasn't going to ask you about politics. I was going to ask Michael Webb about politics. Okay, so we moved on now from that awkward.
Well, you can
exchange.
have Michael Webb on a separate episode.
I'm happy to come on down
Yes.
and have an entire episode dedicated to my political
Yeah.
beliefs.
Oh, yeah, we'll just ask Carla to give us some privacy for a few minutes here. All right, am I allowed now? I feel awkward here because it's been going so well, and then that was awkward. But I was going to ask you about something that you alluded to in your stand-up, but I don't know this story, and I don't know how vulnerable you'll be about it. But are you willing to discuss your marriage to Tyrone Power Jr.? Is that allowed to be asked?
Yeah, I guess.
I guess I'm just curious because I didn't ask you about this the first time, but we covered a lot of ground in an hour there. But your current relationship status is you are not married at this moment in time, Carla Collins.
That's correct.
Okay, so you're on the stand now. You're going to answer these questions here. So are you willing to share, like, what you're willing to share about how you ended up married to Tyrone Power Jr.?
Yeah, we went to a chapel. Now, I was set up. I was set up with Ty. A casting director brought him to one of my comedy shows.
Did you know, like, who his father was, like, who he was when you were set up with him?
Well, not entirely. That was my joke because Tyrone Power Jr. sounds like he was going to roll up in an Escalade and call me baby doll. So my joke is that I thought he was going to be black. But that is that is because of his father. That is why the name Tyrone is so very popular. So he looks identical to his father. So there is no mistaken. And I did love old timey movies. I had never seen a Tyrone Power movie until I met him. But
and he never met his father, right?
No, his father died when his mom was pregnant with him. I know. That's quite a movie of the week.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. So what's that? Like, that's a fascinating facet of your career. I think it's an interesting detail to how many years were you married to Tyrone Power Jr.?
10.
I think that's a good run. Like, I feel like 10 years that's a solid run. Like, that's good. Okay. And
get like a chip or something.
like, once you get into double digits, I feel like, okay, that was
Mike is now asking me questions, but can't really look at me because I'm like, I swear to God, I will cut it. No,
I am shaking over here, but
you just keep shaking like a chihuahua on mouth.
So again, last question about Tyrone Power Jr.
Sure.
is why does this relationship come to an end? Why are you no longer married to Tyrone Power Jr.?
Well,
which is a fun name to say, by the way, Tyrone Power Jr.
It's a wonderful name. That's my joke, is that I'm only going to marry someone if they have the last name Ranger, so I can be Carla Power Ranger.
I heard that
we
joke.
should always end it on a
listening.
joke. Exactly. If there are any Mark Rangers out there.
Somebody's going to write in. Trust me here. So just it just came to an end. Just
Listen, Mr. Sister Oprah, as I said.
What's going on here?
I'm happy. I thought he was going to ask about the armed robberies or something new. There's still a reality show on there, so people can see, and
Right.
that's just for me. That's something to keep.
Ran its course.
Sure.
Armed robberies?
Well, I'm just saying. I thought you were going to ask about
Well,
something
I'm
new.
asking about it right now, Carla Collins.
I haven't been with Ty since 2017, so
Yeah, but
it feels like an old story.
It's an old story, but it's we didn't cover it your first episode, so we're not repeating anything here. What can
I'm
you
just not a
share
gal
with
that
us
kisses
about,
and tells.
What can you share with us about this armed robbery?
Oh, my dad had a Pinto Variety, and because I was this height, I was working there when I was 11, and two guys came in nylons over their faces. And please remember, my contacts was Starsky and Hutch, and I'm like, oh, they're going to kill us because they kill people when they cover their faces.
Right.
And the other woman was behind the till with me. She froze. And I couldn't get my till open and handed them money. Plus, I had like some stitches from gymnastics, so it looked much more dramatic because the guy said, by the way, they came in and said, this is a stick up, which is super cliche and embarrassing.
Well, they
'cause
saw
I'm
that
like,
on
come
Starsky
on.
and Hutch.
It's small town, Wallaceburg, hasn't been an armed robbery since. And he nudged me with the gun, so it looked more dramatic that I had a little blood. And so, there was now again, and my parents aren't with us, so I can't really ask them. I don't know what kind of Squid Game parenting module they were following, but somehow I think I really wanted to still work at the store, and someone should have maybe said a no to that. But 2 years later, I was working and ski masks this time, and I'm like, who's been in 2 armed robberies in Canada?
Seriously,
I think I am the only person in the world, and my joke is 2 armed robberies. There was only 1 gun in Canada at the time.
Right. You're not in Toronto, like the big bad Toronto.
No, I was in Wallaceburg. I don't know. What is it? Lacrosse champ? It was population maybe. I think it's still around 10 or 11,000.
What are the odds that you would...
Exactly. I know.
Did you see a gun?
Well, it was a sawed-off shotgun both times. Did I see it?
And
yeah,
it wasn't the same.
The money.
It wasn't the same. Yeah, it wasn't the
Someone
same
came in
person.
and just gave me veiled threats. I swear to God, we have a gun. I don't. That looks
in the
like your
car.
finger.
But that can fuck a person up.
Yeah, I know. Well, I think I buried it really deep down. And the great thing is, honestly, we're very resilient when we're children. Because my age started with a 1 and ended with a 1 at one point. And with a 3, I think that I was like, hey, let's. I don't know, Sean Cassidy. I don't know what I was into at the time, but I think I was able to bounce back because, the 40-year-old woman passed out. So I was like, again, I was coming from the back with dog food, and I just held it over my chest like, yeah, I don't know if this is going to stop a bullet, but I do have a bag of dog food on me, so don't move. And it was something I hadn't chatted about, but I think it's a pretty interesting story. And
it's
everybody's
unbelievable.
got, like, we all have our bag of hammers, as I believe Michael J. Fox once said. And so I think I just got rid of those. I front loaded, apparently. And yeah.
But the second time when
Yes.
you see it's happening again, like what's going through your mind? Like you've literally been there, done that.
And it was very much like, again, Bullwinkle.
You're like-
I was at the back thinking, oh, you've got to be kidding me. And just came up to the front because I'm like, all right, I know the drill.
Yeah, you would have a sense of like, I've actually been through this before in some fucked up way that might work to your advantage.
Oh, yeah, oddly. Yeah. And they did catch him the second time. I don't think anyone did time. I'm sure it was all an inside job that the owner's daughter who was working. I don't know. It's a bit of a mystery, but I thought, well, you're always looking for a unique angle in comedy. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure maybe someone's been in one armed robbery.
A lot of people have been in one.
Hey, come at me, bro. I'd like to see Dave Chappelle in two. I think I'm the only one who can claim the 2 armed robberies. And so it was just in the last couple of years. That
Okay,
I've been
somewhere
making
there's
that joke.
some listeners doing the math right now to tell you like the odds to survive 2 armed robberies in your life. And I bet you you're in rarefied air here.
Probably. And grateful.
Well, you survived, which is the important part of this story, which is
Yes, yeah.
You're here.
It was not my time, as they say. I
Not
guess
your time.
Yeah, and I think also is why I became such a nerd because they were doing this because they needed drug money. So I've always had that. I think it's why I didn't do drugs. I also kind of associate like, oh, that makes people do some weird shit.
yeah.
So I'm sure it had an imprint. And you just see me running away from my. But I think then you grow up and you find out that everyone's had some type of trauma. Everyone, pretty much.
That's what you got to remember is you don't know what other people are going through. Like when you just don't know what's going on in their life. They might have a kid in the hospital with cancer. They might have just survived their second armed robbery attempt. Like you just don't know what people are going through.
That's really true. And some people are really, especially now, like the kids or TikToks, like they're very open. And I'm sure that's great. But again, you just don't make it a part of your identity because shit happens to everybody, right? It's the whole how you, I guess, handle it. And I think with humor is always a great way. So I'm like, I don't know. I'm sitting on this like, okay, there's dating stuff, but I bet you this would be unique, which is why I kind of started talking about it.
Well, you know what else would be a great way to process these things in your life as you kind of you deal with them head on now? It would be vision pop boards.
I enjoyed the segue. I love you for
It's
it.
a little clunky. I feel like if I had a second shot at it, it would be smoother.
But the intent, no, it
Yeah.
wasn't because it is.
Because my question is, have you ever done a vision pop board for yourself?
I did an early one and I ripped it up. I know. I'm like, oh, the classic artist. I'm like,
And
what
let me
is
see
this?
it.
I know. I do have a picture of it. I've done a couple. There's one on my phone, the Harmony one. But I'd like to do an updated one, and it's really a very meditative. To bring this full circle, Karen, who you were sitting next to. So what I do is, if you order a vision pop board, friends of Toronto Mike will get a discount.
What
But it's
percent
not a
discount
cheap.
does
It's
an
not a
FOTM
cheap
get?
gift.
It's not so if you're looking for a bargain basement gift,
It's not. But it's
look
not
somewhere else.
crazy. It's pretty reasonable.
well, how do they contact you?
You can contact me on @Carla Collins Comedian. All C words, but the nice ones. You can give me that or Carla at carlacollins.com.
Carl, oh my God, you're going to be inundated with emails from
All right.
people. Send me feet pictures. That's what you're going to
Oh, well, I have I have amazing feet, Mike. And I mean, not to brag, but I'm telling you, I just kill it on OnlyFans. I really do. I do have great feet. I not to brag.
Okay,
It's
well,
just,
Carla at carlacollins.com is about to get filled, if you will, with requests to see those feet. But so I
Forget
think
the vision boards. Where are your toes?
back to the vision pop boards, of course, here, because I do think if people are interested, they should reach out and ask you for that price list. So it's not going to be they're not cheap. But
and I will give you the friends and family deal.
Even though I brought up Pierre Polyev, you're still going to give it. I'm still
going to give you the friends and family. I'm again.
Well, he's here right now. Pierre, come on down. Just kidding.
That's the kind of sweetheart I am. But we started talking about Karen, and you were looking at her pop board.
I spent a lot of time with it, actually.
When someone orders a board, I talk to them, and they say, I say, what do you love? What do you want to manifest? What would you like on your board? So Karen sent me this wonderful list via WhatsApp, and I'm working on this board and working on it. And what I did was I copied that list. I thought I copied it into my notes, but I did it freestyle, like just old school, old timey,
right?
Cursory. And I had palm tree on there because, and she loves Cuba and this, and she makes cookies. I made the cookies, the coconuts, and the palm tree. So the palm tree is 1/3 of the picture. And I go and look at her list just before I send her the picture of it. There's no palm tree.
Oh my God.
And I was having like a mile, because it takes me a long time to do these.
Right.
And I said, what? How did I? And so when I sent it to her, she said, oh, I love it. And she said, oh, don't worry about the palm tree and don't mind my dry skin. I'm like, where is this going? Because we're texting.
Right.
She has the exact same palm tree tattooed on her ankle.
That's fucked up.
Because I claim, and you can judge me all you want.
Okay.
I've bared my soul today on Toronto Mike. I do claim. I think you channel people's energy. Like I channel a little bit when I do. Michael will tell you I leave. Like I'm just gone, and then something comes up, and sometimes I feel like the last one I did, I'm like, did I black out? Not the boys, but the one before that. It was an early order, so it wasn't as pricey. And I'm like, oh no, it was already paid for. And I'm like, I'll just call this in. Nope. I swear it just had a whole life of its own. I think that we all channel when you're singing, whatever creativity you're doing. It doesn't have to be woo-woo, but for some reason I saw this giant palm tree and she said, no, I love palm trees. I meant to put it down there. So that's my Cool Vision Pop Board story.
Well, that's an unbelievable, dare I say, coincidence. You're going to say it's not a coincidence, right? Like you have a gift.
There are no coincidences.
There are no coincidences. But it's wild that you were you made up this palm tree. You had this palm tree vision, if you will, and you added to her pop vision board, and you're now nervous because what if this has nothing to do with her loves and her passions? And it turns out she has a tattoo of a palm tree on her body. Unbelievable.
Palm trees they're delightful. So it's not like, we
have many in South Etobicoke, and they're beautiful. Absolutely.
They're in season right now.
They're in season right now. So I got to say again, Karen is her name, right? Karen.
Karen McQuaid, yeah.
Because we were sitting there having a beer, waiting for Sabrina Douglas, who's an FOTM, and she's been down here, and she was very funny too.
Yes,
and Ted, the host,
Ted Morris, who I'm going to be doing the shows with at Yuck Yucks.
Very funny, Ted Morris. My wife actually said afterwards, like she wants to see a Ted Morris set.
Well, and she did, because that's host.
Yes.
No, he's a great comedian and a really great friend. So we're gonna be road dogging it to Yuck Yucks London together.
Okay, so people should see you on New Year's Eve in Barrie. And,
yes, at Bloom Bistro. Eventbrite.ca.
Eventbrite.ca.
Yeah.
And they can contact you, Carla at carlacollins.com or
but
on
mostly
Instagram.
go to Carla Collins Comedian and follow me on Instagram.
I'm going to tag you there.
So I'm building back up.
We're building back. Well, I'm going to be tagging you on this episode. And other than my Michael Webb interrogation of his love for Pierre Polyev, how was this? This was okay otherwise?
I don't want you to keep bringing it up, baby.
Because he wants to talk about it.
Well,
but I actually, in my defense, I actually told Michael Webb I was going to talk about it. Like we
thought you meant just in real time. And that's why
I'll come back.
It's why I sent the email. I'm like, by the way, because he's like, I don't want to. And I was like, by the way, no politics.
I took that as code for take Trump off the menu, and he was.
Now I'm to take all politics off the menu with me.
And that brings us to the end of our 1,821st show. Go to torontomike.com for all your Toronto Mike needs. Much love to all who made this possible. That is Retro Festive, Great Lakes Brewery, Palma Pasta, Nick Iones, RecycleMyElectronics.ca, and Ridley Funeral Home. See you all tomorrow when Globe and Mail's John Doyle makes his Toronto Mike to debut. Wow. Maybe we'll talk about Carla Collins. See you all then.